Thank you, Drew Mulkins. I do. I yell at people. This is another capacity in which I do so. So do you ever meet someone with a name that you can't tell if it should belong to a porn star or a scientist? Two very different occupations, but there are a few names that toe that magical line. This weekend, I met a guy whose name was Anthony Julian, which is just Greco-Roman sounding enough to be a porn star, but also has like enough class and like Brahmin bravado to it to be someone who's a learned man of the sciences. Like both of these sentences sound correct. Anthony Julian stars in Most Unrealistic Cable Repair Appointments, Part 5. Just the same, the sentence, today, MIT researcher Anthony Julian found a cure for AIDS. He was inspired to do so when his friend, also named Anthony Julian, died of AIDS. After the production company he was working for fucked up their screening process. Now, I had a really wonderful day today, and it's for stupid reasons too. I'm getting over a bit of a flu that I worked through because that's what you do when you're poor. You work when you're sick. And getting up today, I felt good, but I was still in that phase where everything's kind of a fever dream, and just the stupidest things are just magical to you. First on my way to work, I saw a child with Down syndrome playing with a bubble wand in the street. And for some reason, I just had this thought to myself, Down syndrome children are actually some of the cutest children there are. And I'm serious too. One of my good friends has a younger sister with Down syndrome who's 5, and she's always posting pictures of her on Facebook, doing normal 5-year-old stuff, but so much more cute because of the magic in her eyes. And I think what's great about it is that magic is going to stay there forever. They will never collapse under the crushing weight of maturity and mental capability. It's beautiful. But the other thing that I really enjoyed this morning, this was still on my way to work, and I'm walking through the parking lot, and I'm just walking at my usual meandering pace because what do I have better to do than meander? All of a sudden, blowing past me is this very tall, very thin Indian man in a tracksuit race walking with purpose because what he's doing is important. Where he's going fucking matters. And he's going to catch a bus. But just the same, I had this thought to myself, I should be like that Indian man. I should walk with purpose too. So I too start race walking. It's a meandering race walk, but it's a race walk just the same. And I get winded after about 30 seconds. Because a chain smoker with the flu cannot be an intrepid Indian man. I don't know, there's a lot of things I can't be, but I try not to be hung up on them so much. I'm trying to be less self-loathing, more self-confident. I think that's partly because I'm in a relationship now, and I don't want to have a horrible argument every time she says I love you. No, madame, it is you who is wrong. Sorely mistaken in that you are. No, it's nice. I have a girlfriend. She lives in Wisconsin, and she's not on Facebook. So I'm probably a closeted homosexual, which I did not realize you could do without being a fundamentalist Christian. Glass ceiling. I gotta say though, it's nice being in a church that I don't know a whole lot about the Unitarian belief system, but I do know that they believe that God isn't a jerk. And Also, I know that they're not a cult, which is good because we can't have too many of those, because I've always kind of wanted to start one myself. But I've come to realize, as I've gotten to know myself better, starting a cult would probably go the same way as a lot of things I set out to do. Like, I'd probably be like the deadbeat dad of cult leaders. Like, I'd get all my followers together in, I don't know, French Guiana or somewhere. And then one day I'd go out for a pack of cigarettes and just never come back. 20 years later, I'd go back and they'd be like still waiting further instructions. It's like, what is your bidding, dear leader? I fucking forgot. Liptins were on sale at the corner store. No, I'm going to close out by saying, this seems like a nice place. It seems like, I don't know, Drew turned out pretty good going here growing up. It's hard because I feel like church is rough on a lot of kids. And not just because of, Catholics and Baptists and all the people raised with really unhealthy, hell-driven, fear-driven belief systems. But just in itself, it's a jarring experience of being taken to church for the first time. And I think because it's in stark contrast to how awesome Saturday mornings are as a kid. Because, you get to sleep in, you watch cartoons. At my house, it was pants optional. Then all of a sudden, it's Sunday morning, and you think, hey, there's no school today. This day is going to be just as good, too. But no, you're woken from a restful slumber, forced into clothes you would never choose to wear, taken to a building unlike any that you have ever seen. And you hear words that you do not understand. Who are these people they're talking about? Who is the Lord? Who is God? Who is thy heavenly Father? Oh, they're all the same guy? And who's Jesus? Is that God's wife? Oh, no, that's a guy? Jesus just sounded like a lady's name to my childhood mind. And two, you're made to sit in pews. Pews, even the sound of them. And they're seating specifically engineered to be completely the most uncomfortable thing imaginable. There's no middle ground. You can't lean back because there's nowhere to put your head. You can't lean forward because your head will hit the one in front of you. And your mom will yell at you at some point too. And then it's time for a hymn. Oh, let's get up and sing about these three guys that are one guy, and his wife who's his son, and... Well, what do I do? Do I sing along? No, you're making us sing. Sit down. No, don't sit down. That's disrespectful. Stand here and be confused. And the whole time, their one attempt to reach out is, hey, at time with the children, we'll have them, I don't know, color a picture of a whale. Well, who's this whale we're coloring a picture of? Oh, that's the whale that ate a guy because he defied God. It's like, oh, okay. Well, how about we color a picture of all the animals on Noah's Ark? Look at the happy animals on a boat. Don't you ever forget. Now, why are these animals on a boat? Oh, so they wouldn't die when God drowned everyone. The lesson being, be good, little children, because God is wrathful. But hey, cute animals! This has been fun, everybody. It's nice being down here. Look forward to Drew Wilkins for setting all this up. I've been Yurick. Have a great night.
So cute with your face.
I did.